episode of Make Do Tell with the Kansas City Public Library. My name is Samantha, and today we're going to be talking about watercolors. You're probably thinking, I use watercolors like a million times in art class, I know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to share a few quick tips with you that will make you a watercolor master in no time at all. So first, let's go over some supplies that are really great to have if you want to start doing watercolors. We're going to be using what you probably recognize, just a tray of watercolors that you get with your school supplies. I've got a lot of paint brushes. You don't need lots of different watercolor brushes. You can just use the kind that come inside the tray. This one doesn't have one, so I had to bring my own. Painter's tape. And if you don't have this, it's okay. You can use regular tape. It might rip the paper a little bit. Markers and pens that won't bleed or get mushy when you put water on them. It also helps to have some paper towels, obviously, so you can control how much water you're putting on your paper. And then, of course, some water. You can't do watercolors without water. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare our paper. I'm using really fancy watercolor paper here, but you can really use just any paper, construction paper, computer paper. It is gonna get mushy and dissolve a lot faster, so if you just wanna practice, it's great. So the first thing we're gonna do to prepare paper is we're gonna tape it down so that we don't get big bubbles that make our water spill everywhere. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just get my paper wet. I'm just gonna put water all over it. And if you get too much water on your paper, you can always dry your brush off and then soak some of it up with your paintbrush. What we're gonna make today is a color wheel, because I think it's really important when you're first learning how to do watercolor to know your colors. And you're probably thinking, I learned my colors in kindergarten, I don't need to learn them again. But no matter how advanced you are, it's always good to remember your primary colors, your secondary colors, and then how those work together when you mix them. So first on the color wheel is red. You'll know red. So we're gonna do yellow as our second color. Nice and bright. And then the third color in the color wheel, of course, is blue. So your secondary colors are what you get when you mix the primary colors together. So of course, when you mix red and yellow, you get orange. When you mix red and blue, violet or purple, depending on what word you want to use. Ooh, that one's nice and dark, look at that. And then when you mix blue and yellow, you get green. And those are the secondary colors, and it can be fun, if you're making your own color wheel, to connect them like this. So there's the primary colors, and there's the secondary colors. So colors opposite on the color wheel like this are called complementary colors. So you've got green and red, blue and orange, and yellow and violet. And when you mix those colors, something really weird happens. I'm gonna show you. Violet and yellow. Let's see what happens. Oh, the yellow's getting kind of muddy, isn't it? Let's keep mixing purple in and see what happens. Oh look, there's brown. Let's see what happens when we mix red and green. You got brown, blue, and orange. You get a muddy brown. So complementary colors, when you mix them together, make brown. The ways you can use this is you can actually use complementary colors like this to do shadows and to make colors more dull. We're gonna get another sheet of paper so that I can show you how you're gonna use these complementary colors on a painting. I'm gonna use my marker, draw a circle. And let's say our light is coming from here, and so that means our shadow is gonna be over here. One of the things you're gonna do with watercolor when you're doing lights and darks is keep in mind warm and cool. Light is warm, like yellow, and shadow is cool, like blue. If you put a layer of yellow and blue under your lights and your shadows, it's gonna make it look like light's hitting it or that it's in shadow. Then you're gonna dry it. Stop if you get lightheaded. Now you're gonna go in. Let's say this is a green ball. So let's go in with our green. You can use the tray up here to mix your colors. I don't wanna use this just straight green. It's gonna look like it's straight out of the tray, and sometimes that can look kind of cartoonish. So I'm gonna add a little blue to it. Ooh, that looks nice. And I don't want it to be so bright, so maybe I'll add a little purple, because purple is the opposite of green. So if you add a tiny bit, it'll actually dull it down a little bit. Look at that nice color. Ooh, I'm gonna test it first. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Okay. And then now you can go in and say, you know what, this shadow's not dark enough. You can do more blue. And if you want to remember, we learned how to make blue less bright. You can add its complementary color, orange, and you get a darker, less bright blue. And that's how you would do shadow and light. That is some basics on how to use watercolors. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to check out more great videos from the Kansas City Public Library. I did include a book list in the description down below of books that can teach you how to do watercolors, how to use them for illustrations, how to make paintings of landscapes, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to check that out and hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.